better for being here.
Happy
Yeah,
Sunday.
happy Sunday. It's early for you, right?
Mm, it's 9 a.m. It's not that early.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I had that was a wonderful session yesterday. And I woke up this morning and my brain just went, you have a choice.
Mm.
And yeah, I've been struggling for many years since I was a teenager with with fatigue, like these bouts of, I've been tested for everything, ME, loads of things. And at the end of the day, it's just my body's response to trauma, my parents' trauma. I know the generational trauma, which I'm trying to heal.
Which you are healing.
I am healing. But sometimes, like this week, was really intense. And I just was like, I have a choice what I put. It was just so powerful yesterday.
Yeah, and this is why the emphasis of Tony's triad is so profound because it's I mean it's not just Tony's triad, it's built off thousands of years of wisdom, right? So he has emphasized some profoundness in his language and experience to ultimately cultivate the ethos, pathos, logos of what Aristotle had done and much others before him in different ways. It doesn't mean that uh, it takes away from his magic, by the way. It actually, he built on top of the shoulders that have cultivated before him. And we get to stand on his shoulders, and many of our future generations will stand on ours. So it's so important, like if we start to recognize those patterns, as Tony says, and we can utilize them so that we can create new ones. It's a gift, and we choose to. It's a decision. Like so many of us decide that we can't do something that is profound because the whole world has told us con constantly that we can't, which is quite the opposite.
Yeah, I know. Who were you before the world told you what to be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark,
Hey.
are you on a daily stroll walk?
Sort of.
Nice. Well, it's good to
I'm
see you.
just walking, going by to the grocery store and such.
Hmm, beautiful. So yeah, so yesterday it was really profound. I mean, it's always profound, I think, when we get super curious about ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked more into the book she was talking about. I'm
Mhm.
always curious. I'm always I read so much after I met, like all the books that Tony mentions. And what's happened lately is sometimes it's like my computer in my head is not working. I know I'm intelligent. I know I've got a lot of data in there, but I can't seem to do it. And
In the
that was
past,
in the
in the
past.
past,
Yeah, but
yeah.
even now I've got a little bit. So I have PTSD, which I'm working on. As in, Tony, I got more out of UPW than I have a shrink. So I know that I'm curious how, rather than putting a business head on and solving this, how to heal. And that's the first time I felt like you talk about I've been in my head and I haven't
Mhm.
been in my heart. What does Mel need? No, what does Mel want? And who is Mel? And all I want is love for myself and love to give to my children. And it was just something that was yesterday. I know I hide behind like, I'm always smiling or laughing or, because that's me. I want to bring joy. But what about me? What about the joy I bring me?
Hmm.
So I was quite shocked at how powerful the session was yesterday to me. It stayed with me all night. And yeah, I woke up to you have a choice.
And so what's the choice?
It's more like So when I was going through trauma, I couldn't connect with the therapist, the
With the
help,
what?
the therapists. I couldn't connect with them. It's like, let's go over your childhood. What I connected with was using the books of Man's Search for Meaning and the choice from Edith Edgar, and the Holocaust survivors. And it wasn't it being about the morbidity of the books. It was their choice to live and survive and not suffer. And that's what I suddenly yesterday remembered. We I don't need to suffer anymore. I don't have any flavors of suffering. I can change that. I have the choice.
So what do you choose now?
Me. I choose me. I choose to sit in presence, something I haven't been doing. I think I'm
Mm.
in presence, but I actually realized that I don't sit enough. A good friend of mine, we had a 2 hour walk and coffee today. And she gave me the grace and the space to share. And I said, I'm so sad. I said, I never saw my life being this so sad, but I'm changing it. And she says, Mel, you've always been the light, but you're alone right now. You don't have support. You don't have family here. And I talked about Tony well. And she said, that's your magic is there. Use it as your skill to move forward.
This word alone, I love it. It's my favorite. Do you know what it means?
Mm, no.
When you look at the writing, it's all one.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
cultivate that relationship with ourselves, we tap into something a lot more profound because it connects us all and it recognizes that we can see the reverence in one another even more.
Yeah.
So my hallucination is that the light that you've been shining, that most people have seen,
Yeah.
because you were making a decision to look in a place of positivity in so many circumstances, your curiosity of why you're doing that is now coming to fruition. And so as a result, you're doing a deeper discovery of
Mm.
your internal self. And so that deeper discovery is like, okay, well, why was I doing that? Why did I feel like I needed to do that? Or what's the reason that I was giving myself to do that? And so you've created again, what I'm hearing, maybe, it's you can correct me if I'm wrong. You've created enough leverage to give yourself the space of discovering, I don't want to choose any more suffering. I want to choose to really come from this knowing. And my choice is to discover where this knowing is coming from. And so I choose right now, because I got inspired by Tony and the community, to go deeper into this space of recognizing where that always was coming from, because you only see what you have. And by seeing what you have, you're getting curious about it. And so this puts us on the path of manifesting true change and then giving us the alignment of the way that we want to then fully go out into the world and shine. So now,
Cool.
as a result, you're attracting people that are able to help you navigate that with clarity, with kindness, with compassion. And they won't allow you, myself and others, won't allow you to feel like a victim through it all. Because remember, the master of meaning is the one that can create the empowering one.
Your words are Just what I needed to hear tonight. Yeah. I felt like I've been feeling like it was sort of untamed, like cat in a cage today. Not sure which direction. Um, but I do know I'm in the right place, like you said. And I do know that there's a deeper meaning in me. I might shine my light out, but I want to shine it in me. Because when I start shining inside, everything outside will shine even brighter. And obviously, I don't want to take up all the space. That's just me. But I'd like to also, if you don't mind, throw it back at you, Eric, and ask you a little bit about your story.
What would you like to know? I'm happy to
Well,
share any.
yeah, thank you. I I saw you on stage, then suddenly I'm in a WhatsApp group with you, and I'm Tennessee because of Tennessee. And then, so where did it? How did you get into Tony Rock? Hi, Tennessee.
Hi, Tennessee.
Happy Sunday.
So I got into Tony World in 2019. I was a place in a place where actually I got into Tony World before 2017, I would say, but I didn't really get into the world. I kind of like dabbled in the world. I got inspired and then I didn't take any action. So uh I went to all my life I've been a very like high energy, intense man. Uh People tell me I can't do something, I go twice as hard and I break through barriers.
Look at me.
So I'm a very, very honest with myself and others. And so I really get right to the point uh without worrying what people think of me, because it's not about me and it was never really about me. I realized that although I was like working on myself, I wanted to recognize what my reason for living was. And so by recognizing or discovering my reason for living, I would always just ask questions, because I didn't understand since I was a little boy why I was here. So in when I went to a couple of smaller seminars with Tony, he actually mentions it sometimes on different events. He talks about going to Edmonton, which is my hometown. Uh, and at that event, so just before that event, I remember I was in Costa Rica, at the Arsenal volcano, and it was New Year's Eve or something like this, and Tony had posted something online that was like, beautiful sunset, it's a new time for the world. It was 2018, and the future is friendly and things like this. And I remember commenting on that post and saying, Tony, I feel like I'm going to meet you at some point in my life, and I'm really excited. And I'm going to be in Edmonton. And I posted, and he direct messaged me and said, "Come up and shake my hand. I'd love to meet you." And at first I thought it was like his team or, his social media team or something like this. And then I realized after we had a couple back and forth that it was actually him. And so I went up to him and his team, or his, as you guys know, the security is always there. They told me to back up. Like while he was talking, I would just walk up and say, and like wanting to give him a hug or whatever. I didn't care what was going on or, you know, the context of it. Just really bold. And multiple times they told me to sit down. And that's okay. So I sat down on the last time, but at that point, he walked up to me and grabbed me out of my chair and gave me a big hug. And it was in that moment that something like shifted in my body, in my experience, in my boldness. And I chose to sign up for UPW with his nephew Jamie. And then I went to UPW in London. And on the first day, I walked up to him at the stage and I said, Tony, do you remember me? Like this like little cute fanboy. It was pretty funny. And he's like, Edmonton. And that's all he remembered. He didn't remember, but which is great, which is enough. But from that moment, uh, that was early 2019. From that moment, Jamie called me that evening and they moved me to the front to like the section, chairman's section on the right-hand side. So I sat there in the second row, giving it my all, in the front row, and just really pushing myself every day without fear, without any limitation. And uh, I didn't care. Like I didn't care who was around me. I didn't care what was being like, I just was pushing myself to the maximum because Tony gave me the space.
Now you're giving the space cells.
Yeah, so he gave me the space, and the space was what I needed because I needed to fully allow myself to be in full energy and allow myself to unleash without limitation. Because all my life, people have told me that I'm too much of this, or I have too intense this, or too this, or too that. That's why TOO in my life does that word does not exist. And for me, that event was my first UPW, my first real event. And I didn't even know what platinum was, but I felt good with all these platinums around me. I felt like, they really understood my depth and my soul. And they're like, you need to sign up. And I was like, what the fuck is it talking about? Because I didn't really hear the pitches, to me it was all about like just making sure I'm learning. And at the end, it was like the last moment. There was nobody even around. It was just me and Scott Humphrey, who's uh Sage's brother. Uh and he just like we talked deeply about it. And then I was so scared because I didn't have enough money. And for the whole thing, I had just enough for the down payment. But I realized in that moment is like, if I'm not worth this, or if I don't see the value in what feels right, then I'm not valuable. Like how can I ever discover my own worth if I don't even see the value in investing into myself? And I invested my last like my savings, all the savings I had, it was 25K at that time. And I said, I'll figure out the rest. I'll trust, I'm surrendering. And I had a heart attack, like basically a panic attack. I remember waking up the morning following and having like this panic attack of uncertainty and all this stuff. And I just breathed into it. I worked through it. Um, there was this amazing other Plat Nikki Sharp who we went and did like a big photo shoot together in London and we just like were able to like starting to create. And so I really let my mind go and just trust. And then it became evident to me, like I went to all these other events all around the world and I started making the money back and it was just becoming easy uh and grace and intentional. And I just not only at Date with Destiny or Business Master, all these other events, it was always like I was getting picked to to share my mission on stage or to do things, like at Date with Destiny, I got to really express myself and the whole community, all 3,000 of them, while I was on stage were giving me feedback of how I can really own my mission back. And this was like a really profound gift to learn from a mirror like that. Because when you learn from a community, and then you can really hold your energy because you're reflecting from thousands of people all at once. And this was amazing. This was amazing. This is like the mirror that Tony holds, right, for himself, right? When he's in there, his mirror is the whole arena, So
Yeah.
this is the more energy you can hold in yourself, the more reflection you start to be able to cultivate. So I hope
Wow.
that makes sense. Yeah.
That's but just two things before finish that. Well, that was a great story, and that's exactly why I love this community. UPW was like lots of mirrors, and I'm still looking for more mirrors. And so thank you. And I just got one question quickly. See, which fire lane were you in? Did you do the firewalk in the last UPW?
This last one that we were just at? Yeah, yeah.
Which fire were you in Tony's fire lane?
So I walked to Mike. Do you guys know who Mike is? Big tall Mike. He's a big trainer, master trainer.
There was just one reason because I was on Tony's fire lane, which is the one very, very far, which means
Yeah.
we would have met because I would have
Yeah.
hugged you at the end.
Yeah.
That's that. I was just wondering if maybe you were on that fire lane.
Yeah, no, I actually walked to Mike's fire lane. I came a while back because I was walking from the front row. So it was very like easy and Tony was already gone because usually Tony goes first and stays there only, for maybe half an hour or 40 minutes. And then he goes. But yeah, I went to Mike's fire lane. Big Mike. So
Okay, hallucination is next time you'll be on my fire lane.
amazing. Yeah, I love it. But yeah, it's really intentional always. It's interesting when you could look back at the stories and realize how guided we are. So, hi Tennessee, how are you?
I am good. I'm good. I was just doing a whole high frequency, listen to high frequency sounds for the last 4 hours. So I think I'm just coming down back a little bit. Yeah, but I'm good. I'm good. Listening. Excited to see Mel. 3 days time. I'll see the guys. And Rain Love invited me over to Amsterdam to mastermind. So I am excited. I'm excited to see. So I'm definitely driving so I can get by Mel to give her a hug.
Mel,
Yeah.
Person again.
where are you, Mel, again? Amsterdam?
I'm in Eindhoven, which is in the south, so it's like an hour and a half from Cologne. So I'm really on
Oh,
the borders of Germany and Belgium. Yeah, easy place.
I'm gonna be in
Yes.
Amsterdam next week as well. I come on Monday, next Monday.
Okay, let me know. Oh, you're coming, is Mastermind next week, is it?
The
I'm not
mastermind,
going
I
for
mean, it's on the 2nd. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. I'm going for the Bitcoin conference.
Yeah, no, I'm not far. I'm like jump on a train. Um, yeah, there'll be a meetup in UPW meetup in the end of October. So yeah,
Mm.
it's a
yeah.
great place where I live to just I can go anywhere. I can go to a train station and jump on a train somewhere. So that's why I love being here. And Friday I'm going to London. Um,
I love Europe for that reason. It's like you
yeah,
got you all can see so much. So, can I tell you all of my plan?
Mm, appreciate.
So, my goal by next year is to have a villa on Ibiza so that we can have like a community kind of headquarters where anyone in Europe can come and stay a couple days, learn. We'll be doing a lot of like permaculture and growing. I'll have uh, either events or experiences there, but I am planning to have a beautiful villa there by next year so that we can really have this community lighthouse as a headquarters on the island of Ibiza
Okay.
where because I used to live there for 2 years, and so I did that once, but I made a lot of mistakes, so I learned from them. And so now I'm gonna do it again because I've anchored a lot of really important details to make it so that we can go to the moon in terms of business and development. So by being able to do all of that, I'm going to be able to do what I really want, um, which is hold that space so that we can continue. And then we can attract and create a lot of cool stuff very fast around Europe and around the world. But the reason that I really love Ibiza is it allows me that place of peace. I just love it there. It's so amazing.
It's a beautiful island.
I've never been. I
Yeah,
think the
I've
people that
been.
wanted to go to Ibiza was the people that I didn't want to be with on Ibiza. I don't want to go for a party. I want to go for
Yeah.
a spiritual side.
Yeah, but the thing is, the party really is just in San Antonio. So if you like, when I went to Ibiza, I stayed on the northeast of the island. So yeah, so it's totally a different experience. You just get to see like you can go and see the caves, and you can have just this private beach and there, and you get to connect with their locals. So at least that's what I did when I was there. So for me, it's a totally different. It was just so magical experience, and it was just so stunning the sea around there. And the second time I went, I stayed in Ibiza town, but I went around for my birthday, and it was glorious weather, like for March. So and I just went for the weekend, but it was very calm when just really focus around walking in the castle and just being there in the walkway, and just like super relaxing weekend and driving around the island. So I've done nothing of partying in Ibiza ever. Even when I
Mm.
went to visit San Antonio, the max I've done is sitting down the sunset. What is it? One of those very by the sea kind of cafes, and we just had one drink watching the sunset. There's just my widest thing, I've done in Ibiza. So I super recommend Mel because it's a beautiful island. So
Thank you.
not just party.
I think it was my limited beliefs. Like the bad side of me comes out, and I'd have to party. But now I'm older, sure. And actually, the other day I saw a documentary about a spa in the North Island of the island, and that got me curious because I'd like to go on a retreat or something similar. And my dad's like, let's walk up a mountain. But I'm going to wait for Eric's lighthouse to open.
No
Now I'll be
pressure, Eric.
no,
It's already done. So I held a really beautiful retreat in I called it the Balance Sanctuary at that time, but it will become the Balance Lighthouse or the Lighthouse of Balance or something like this.
I think
And
just
it
the
was
lighthouse is enough, by the way.
yeah, maybe this is better. So the point
This
is
is
that I love it.
perfect.
So the point is that it gave me so much certainty because I created such a beautiful event. It was called the Sovereign leadership retreat, and it was about helping powerhouse, people or people that didn't know to come back to their essence of being kings or queens. And it was so much fun because I had like some of the most profound leaders, like, the Hoff sisters were there, and different amazing, now so many other like Niraj and other people that are doing big things in Mind Valley or stuff like this. And they were all at this event and helping facilitate doing beautiful things. And I also brought my brothers Pedro and Zeki from Brazil, and we held like real deep spiritual ayahuasca and other ceremonies to really help people break free from their chains. And it was so amazing, the depths in which these people had gone, and a lot of them had come, but then ended up staying, and they still now live there on the island. And it's amazing to have seen so many people like open up and discover their true nature, to then as a result step fully into their beingness and how they choose to actually operate in that level of autonomy and sovereignty. And so I loved that type of community living, and I love that type of community living because what it does is it allows and attracts the mirrors that you need in those time and space of what you're going through, so that you can hold even more energy in the world. And it gives you, us, me, all of us, the strength and the resilience to know and recognize what is it that you want to attract or repel in that moment of time and experience. Because the world is our mirror, right? So when you have an open place of a lighthouse where things trigger you, and you do that in front of everybody as a community, and you have a real open dialogue and an open experience, everybody is learning at the same time. And it's a profound gift. It's a profound gift to be able to be in that space of vulnerability.
Sounds amazing. Can't wait. So what's your timeline?
1 year. By next summer.
Cool.
Less than 1 year. By next summer.
I'll show you guys. Alex sent a photo from the train. I think he's actually getting a lift to his parents' house.
How was the time with Alex?
It was good. It was short. Because he was at this event. But it was really nice. He's a sweetheart. So and yeah, he bought his flight to Porto. So he's going on Thursday. And he manifested on Saturday during the event, he manifested surfing lessons. That he said he mentioned on the thing that he intended to do surfing lessons, but didn't know when or where. And somebody in the group actually was going in a group or has a group or something to do with surfing lessons somewhere there. So he manifested that to go straight after the communion, basically. So so he was pretty excited about it. And I think he's in the car. He got this lift from Frankfurt to his parents' house near Nuremberg. And I said to him, it was perfect because he was going to go straight to Munich, and I just said to him, it's going to be really good for him to reconnect because he was saying feeling lonely, right? And I said to him, well, you said you're feeling lonely, but now you have a chance to go home. And nothing like having your family around you to help you feel that, and it's a reconnect with your roots and your main root system, right? Which is your family and your friends, your old friends, and so on. So before you go, I said it's all a preparation for the communion on Thursday. So I said take the time and enjoy, because so he took a lot of lessons. We were talking last night. Oh, last night was so magical, I have to say it. I picked him up. I arrived from I was in a workshop myself, which was pretty, took me totally by surprise because it was nothing like what I expected. It was just beyond. I picked him up from his event, and we went for some food. And on the way back, he was like, "Oh my God, you can actually see the lights because between Frankfurt and Bad Homburg, you can actually see the sky." So he's like, "Oh, I can actually see the sky here," and he was admiring the sky. In that moment, I literally saw in the corner a shooting star, and I said, "Oh, look, did you see the shooting star?" He's like, "No, I didn't." And I was driving, and I said, "I'm gonna stop near my house. There are some fields," and I stopped by this field, and I said, "Let's get out." I think he was a bit like, it was totally dark on the fields, and he's like, kind of like, "What's going on?" I said, "Let's look at the sky. This is the best place because there's no lights." So we got off the car, and he was just having a moment there. We were looking, and the next thing, this massive shooting star passing by, and the two of us saw this time, and he was just in awe, like with the whole thing. So it was so beautiful, and he was like, "Oh my God!" So he was having his moment. And we came, and I said to him, we came out and came to my house, and we made tea, and we went walking on the grass and staying on grounding in the grass for a while. So that's what we did last night. So yeah, but it was so magical that moment. But it was funny thing, we saw a car coming, and I said, "It's time to go." I said, "Let's go. Let's get out of the car and get in." And we got in. It was actually the police came to check on us on the field. And I said, "See, I told you we needed to come back to the car." So he just went around. He was looking at me. He was just in awe. Like, I think he was still taking in, processing everything, and I think today had. So it was pretty nice. And so it was nice to share this weekend with him. Um, and yeah, it was funny. But it's nice to see his journey. It's nice. And I met some of his event colleagues, all his age, and everybody in line. I said, "Well, I think we're in the right track." I can see these people. And one of the things in the workshop yesterday, the woman, she was saying she's actually a religious leader she has a church in Brazil. I had no idea, to be honest, actually. So that took me by surprise. I went in for a workshop around um, systemic prosperity, basically. That was the workshop around the real energy of prosperity, where it comes from, around your ancestors, your spiritual, your nature, your relationships, and all of that. So you feeding into who you are and what you give back as well, and so everything we've been living through, basically. So, but it was really powerful to see where still some blockades and everything else. And she was saying, did anybody here notice when you connect with the field of the country, the collective conscious, how there is this sorrow, this heaviness, and everybody's like, because everybody's there could feel it when they came in. And I was like, yeah, that's really it. And she said, it's just really a lot of sorrow, but it's be bigger than us. So we just have to, release and help release. So we did an exercise, and I was talking to this German group, Alex friends, in the evening. And it came up, and I said, well, I mean, there's a sorrow there, but you cannot, we're doing your bit. All you can do is our bit ourselves, it's, it's there, but we have to let go of the sorrow and just invite the love in, and the whole Europe, there's a lot of sorrow, both the collective, for all the history, and it was such a good reminder, and it was nice to put a word to it, that feeling. It was literally sorrow, and she just let go of sorrow and just invite love in, and it's such a nice reminder of that. I feel it, and we can do that also in our own lives. If you think about our traumas, our past experiences, all that made who we are, really, if you think about it, and we can carry for so long the pain. Like, we can carry the whole lives, and we can make it so big and so heavy that we don't move on the direction we meant to, because we carry the sorrow with us. And it just, now it's a reminder to let sorrow go and just invite the love in. And it was really nice to tap into that reminder. It's like we already kind of know these things, but it's just always a good reminder to be doing that. I feel like that was yesterday, and I was feeling like I was channeling while I was driving, and I was thinking about our community. I was thinking about my own things going on and other communities, I mean, and I was just thinking, what's my role? And thinking about everything. And it was just, so beautiful. Like, he was channeling this thing about how it's always important that we are here to serve, we are here to learn. And even when we feel like serving, when we feel like we can help, like somebody shares anything, we want to say something back to the person, it's always so important that we listen with compassion. Like, always that reminder, always listen with compassion rather than with our own filters. And speak with compassion rather than with our own filters. And it was just this feeling like, remember, always lead with compassion. Whatever you do, whatever you say. And it just felt like, when I'm sharing in the group, I try to think about how I come across, or I don't want to sound like I'm lecturing anybody. I don't want to feel like I'm telling people what to do, because that's not really my intention. So that's why I was reflecting on myself. And that's why I said, like, when you're speaking through compassion, you're inviting people to consider a different point of view or a different alternative reality, or and inviting them to maybe consider, look for this optic, or try this, and it just felt like, that's when you're in community, and it's like we're inviting each other through this very compassionate and loving energy, and ways to share and to be there, and to trust that you're in a safe place, and to know everybody that's there. It's there for the right reasons and the right intentions, and it's to serve others and not just themselves. So that was my word. Like, I was just channeling all of this while I was driving to the workshop yesterday, driving to the Autobahn. It's quite interesting, because I was feeling, well, I feel very much my masculine now driving here, because it's very fast, because I was late, because there was a massive accident, which was another intervention of God yesterday that held me back in the house. It literally felt like I said, I want to leave. And there's something holding me back. And I said, but I'm not forgetting anything. Why am I not leaving? And I left late. I left 10 minutes late. And by the time I left, there was this massive accident on the road, on the way that I was going to pass by. And all I could see was ambulances and police passing by. It was massive traffic. And I would have been either around the area or just locked behind the accident, and wouldn't have made to the workshop. But because I was delayed, by the time I left, the traffic was building up that Google gave me an alternative route. I had to go around the entire Frankfurt to get to the road, back to the road. But I was so happy and so grateful because I literally felt I was held back. So yesterday was very, very special day. So and when we listen to these intuitions, we listen to those little nudges, we managed to find our way the right way. So I just felt like I needed to share. Sorry.
Don't apologize. Thank you for sharing and being so vulnerable and open. It's beautiful to listen to you in this space of curiosity with peace. It felt like you're very much in your heart, not in your head. It's
I just
amazing.
beat in my heart.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I have my moments, Eric.
We all do.
Because
We've all do.
there's a real life, like on Friday. But I have to be forgiven being in the head sometimes when we're
Of course.
like, when certain things from real life comes up and shake us up a little bit, then these things happen, and especially if like the person is normally not like these, then you just like something must have happened, right? And it's and it's okay, like this is a part of the group to bring us back to alignment, and help each other and bring it back. Just Friday was a particular sensitive day for me, so I was very sensitive on Friday. Let's put it that way. So, but anyway, as I said, like since yesterday, I've just been, like on this energy.
I think you should be sensitive every day. It's the best part.
I'm too sensitive.
I'm just saying, it's just that's the coolest part of life is being sensitive. And because then we get no, there's no TOO. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
We're-
So but I had a migraine. I dropped Alex and I went for a walk and I've done the walk. And then I came back home and I was feeling really sick on the way in. And I said, I'm just going to shut down. I said, it was such a beautiful day, but I literally shut down all the blinds and I went to stay in the dark room for 4 hours, listen to prayers and high vibration music. So that's why I was still coming back out to life, back to my body. The beginning of the call, so there's absolutely 100% just on my heart. Definitely.
So grateful for you. It's so good to see. So good to see. Gina, Jacob, I haven't seen Gina forever. What's happening?
She just came back to Sweden like yesterday. She's been to Iran.
How was Iran? Can't hear you.
Oh, no, okay, wait. Let the
Hold on, I'm just gonna use the bathroom. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I have to pee.
Okay, just 1 second. Can you hear us now?
I can hear
You
you.
kind of could.
Yeah,
Now we can, yeah.
I could probably only picked you up, Jacob, before.
yeah.
Welcome back.
No, it's so good to have Gina home now. I'm home.
Is that why we haven't heard from Jacob in a few days, right?
I was there in 10 days in Iran.
Nice.
Yeah, it was good, but it was very sad. There is a lot of children that have no money, no school, nothing. So it was hard to see.
Thank you for sending some updates while you were there. It was nice to be able to connect with you when you had some curiosities. It was nice to I felt very grateful that you reached out.
Yeah, it was very helpful for me because I was so scared. But now I'm so grateful. I think, like I feel they are my children. Like, so it's so special to feel like that. My dream is to help children, and it was first time I could do something like that, to say, okay, you don't need to go to school. I can pay like that. It was
Yeah, because they were begging on the streets for money or for food. And then Ina decided she's gonna start helping them. Berätta mer om det. Yeah, okay. So they had like their home was not inside, it was kind of outside. And it was crazy. So Gina mentioned she's now gonna raise some funds for them so they can get a bigger home. Because in Iran, you pay like a big sum of money for a home. You don't pay really high rent. So that way it's possible to help them get a better house. So they can have a better life.
yeah.
Because that's really like the first thing for certainty, right? You need a roof and food. Can you guys hear us?
Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have found 2 person who want to help the kids to go to school, and maybe we can have some money for food, or yeah, the need they have for living there.
Gina, what about creating an NGO focused on this? So like a NGO that can actually we can do like fundraisers and things like this that are focused on the specificity. We can talk with some of my friends that live in Dubai, some of my friends that that live in Bahrain and things like this. And we can
course.
we could talk about how we can add more value to the children of the Middle East, because like even right now what's happening in Lebanon is really it's terrible, and this is something that we need to take action on. Like the other day as well, I had a conversation with a young boy in Guatemala. He's 17 years old, and the rivers are polluted with garbage. They don't have any proper water to drink.
Yeah,
And then in Congo, a young mother is sending me pictures of the bodies that are piling up in the ditch because people just keep young bodies of like these pictures that I'm getting, this information that I'm receiving from people that I know on the ground is quite profound in terms of the suffering that exists in the planet. So
yeah,
I would love if we could spend some time discovering how we can add even more value by creating this NGO and having a strategy that really is to create more impact for the children, because ultimately, whether it's shelter, food, like these basic needs, these basic human needs, this should not be happening in the planet anymore. Whether it's water, shelter, food, these are like, there's so much abundance and availability of that around on a global scale. But yet, for some fucking weird reason, where we're noticing that this still is existing, and we need to do something about it. We can't just talk about it. We have to be more, even more action oriented. So
Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday, and Jacob said to me that maybe I can do some Instagram account and show the children, but I feel it's like so scary when I do something good to show to others that I do good things. So
it,
I
it,
don't
it it
know
doesn't
if
even need to be about showing. It just needs to be about talking about it. It needs to be about your experience. You don't need to show when it's coming from a congruent, heartfelt place of your experience. It comes through you, right? And so showing is great by being an example. Meaning, what do we commit our lives to? How are we integrating it? So instead of showing, what can we do to talk about the reality of what's happening on these scales, right? And I believe that it's actually about partnering
yeah,
and finding clarity in how we move together so that then more of us are having these, like, look, the other day we talked with Pedro, in Brazil. He's having issues with water. The other day I talked with a boy in Guatemala. The other day we talked with a lady in the Congo. Now we're talking about Iran. So there's a pattern here, right? There's a consistent pattern here of basic needs not being met. We have to do something, meaning it's not about like just awareness, because awareness is like, you look on YouTube and you Google this stuff, it's available. It's starving in information, or drowning in information, but starving for wisdom. Wisdom needs action. It's not just about awareness. It's about taking an organization, creating an NGO, and making something happen. So whether that's raising funds, creating change, acknowledging a team, building one, whatever it takes, and we can do that all together. We have a
yeah,
lot of brilliance here. For water opportunities and power opportunities. Like, we can create the infrastructure, and one of my partners, our COO of energy here in Alberta, he already has a sustainable energy and agriculture association charity, from Canada, but we can attach ourselves to that and allow it to be even more bigger, so we don't have to rebuild it from the ground level. We could just build on his shoulders, and he's already a partner. He's already done a lot of the groundwork. And so we can then move with a lot of more speed
yeah.
and accuracy. Let me know what your feelings are. Anyone, please.
Yes, I think it's my dream to do something like that. I want to do it soon, like tomorrow or today. I don't know. Uh, yeah,
Eric, where would you start? In what end would you start?
So what we can do is, because the charity already exists. So if we use Jason is he's our COO. So he's already my business partner, and attached to that, he's involved in energy, agriculture, and development. Okay. So we don't need to reshape the wheel, or we don't need to recreate anything. He's already done it. He's spent 4 years refining. I'm gonna just drop the link to his site in the page so everybody can has a real look. But
Can you send
we
it in
turn.
the group chat?
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. So we turn decades into days by aligning on principles, right? There's no competition. Pride and ego compete, right? Pride and ego compete. See you later. Are you out of here, Mark?
Sorry, actually. Thank you for a great call.
Okay. See you,
See
Malin.
you. Bye.
Ciao.
Okay.
So pride and ego compete, and spirit and purpose collaborate. So this is where we get to actually now. I just dropped the link so you guys can have it for later. I'm actually gonna drop it in the group.
Och jag kan läsa till.
How
And
can we make his charity also work in Iran or Afghanistan?
we can do it anywhere. So we can make it work around the world because he knows how to make it happen. So this is why it's important. I'm going to actually in the group right now. I'm going to add him.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. Because he already has the structure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
What I think that the thing is that you provide is the angle of approach on how to solve or alleviate the struggles that these people in Iran are experiencing.
Yes, I totally agree. So it's not like that he's starting a new project. He's just expanding his project to another side of the world as well. Yeah,
I
that would
think-
definitely save time.
Yeah, of course.
I think there's the same principle. We should look at the people who are trying to create communities, but most of them haven't even been to one. I think this is the principle, like expanding what's already there rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. It's
Exactly.
like, so I think it's the same thing that was like on Friday. I wanted to say to the guy, it's like I think it's so many. I can see that so many people. There is a trend, people wanting to create these communities or to make a change. But the first thing, like even if we take what you said, Eric, about the Ibiza project, you said you did before, but you failed, right? And I mean, you made so many mistakes, but you learned from them, right? So, but the thing is, I feel like is a good example for that. You can try to do something totally new and then fail at it and do it again. Or, in things like this, you can make a bigger difference when you're tapping into what's already there and then learn from who's already doing and then see what's their challenge, what their mistakes, whatever. And then you take all of that have the humility to be the student for a while and then,
Beautiful.
and add your value and then expand to that, because eventually you probably feel like I'm outgrowing this institution here and I feel like I'm ready to have my own, and then you can walk on your own two legs, kind of thing. But I just feel like, especially with NGOs and things like these, there are so many nuances that, we feel like the one of us who want to help, we just feel like it's that easy, right? We just want to help. That's our inner drive. We want to help. We feel so compassionate and ready to serve these people, because nobody should be starving on the streets, right? Or, not having medical care or whatever it is, right? But at the same time, there is a lot of nuances that goes around that you have to remember. And that's why it's great, this offer from Eric, like to connect with somebody who's already kind of have the infrastructure and so on. But I would say really talk to people who are doing NGOs in the region already to understand what's their challenges and their constraints, and things like these, because I know people who have been there, including Middle East, right? Doing and work for NGOs, and let's say the story is very, there's a lot of sides of the story and everything else. So you know, so I feel like you just be ready. I think a lot of them went a very naive mind, that just wanted to help in a sense, but then were confronted with a different reality in the sense of of the management of the thing, right? And actually making things work.
So
but what I'm saying is just go in, tap into people already doing it, and expand that, you know.
So this is where you have been talking already with Foster, who is part of the same group, Tennessee. So Foster is our VP of partnerships. That is also he's an extension of Jason, who is our COO. So Foster does the internal partnerships, Jason does the external. So meaning just so you are all aware, Tennessee's also been talking about how we can impact the infrastructure in terms of data solutions to emphasize this shift. So this is where I believe there's so much integration here, and we're also needing the support of the water solutions, which I believe Mart can really add a lot of value here with what's going on, or at least connect us with somebody that might be amazing in Netherlands to emphasize a shift inside of Guatemala and Brazil. I added to the group in the WhatsApp channel the link, and I also added Jason to the group. But I do feel like you guys, we should organize and see, like Tennessee is saying, to see what his needs are, and then add value to what his needs are, and then he could guide and direct by because he's so organized. Like, he does all of our operations, and he plans everything on us on an organizational level. So having Jason is a huge value, but then we have also then the infrastructure of our team and the people that are associated with that to then emphasize and push it forward faster. So if I may suggest, Gina and Jacob, that you look over what I sent in the link, and you have a peek at it, you see what resonates, and then we in the group, you just connect with Jason openly so that the whole group sees what's happening, right? Because it also inspires the group when we communicate with that level of openness and vulnerability as a community. And then we start integrating and figuring out solutions to come together on a call, or what we need to do, and seeing what his needs are. And then as a result, we'll find more solutions.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
Cool.
sounds great. You think that I have is it a good idea that I tell about the children?
Yes.
Group?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because also then we could share, we could have Mei Jing, who's in Guatemala right now, wanting to help, because the children there are also struggling and getting sick because they don't have access to water. People on this planet are still struggling with access to water. This is fucked up. This makes no sense to me. This is unbelievable to think like that our predecessors or our parents and our grandparents actually allowed that to continue to go on for this long. Like, to me, this is like we need to do better, and we need to find a solution. So let's do that, and let's keep making sure that we learn from our mistakes and we move forward. And so I'm grateful that we get to come together now and find solutions, but share the truth and then invite others, because by sharing the truth, we invite others to share the truth. And then we see the patterns of possibility, and then we come together towards a common mission.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Teamwork makes it.
Yeah,
So
I
about the
think
water.
it's yeah, because if everybody helps a little bit, we can still make so much difference.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like right now, you know, Pedro needs like $2,000. We can together as a community put 20 euro each
Yeah.
to make that happen,
Yeah,
as Tennessee had
actually,
suggested. As Tennessee had suggested, and it can show that we're moving together. It could be our first opportunity to really create impact as a lighthouse.
yeah. I
So
asked
Eric,
my friend how much money we need to find some home for the children, like a standard home, like yeah,
A one with a roof.
yeah, one with a roof. And she said to me that we need $2,000, and now I have 200 from my mom and from my sister, and I'm gonna call some friends to see if we can have more money.
It would
I
be
think it's
amazing. It would be amazing to figure out how to do a proper campaign where we can actually add value, where we can have maybe Pedro and yours, and then as we grow into others, we can grow even more. It'd be amazing to figure out how we can do that, or who needs to help us to do that. So then as a result, we can find a solution to raise the funds and move forward. Oh, we lost them. But yeah,
I just have actually, Eric, I don't know if you've been talking to Pedro, because I asked him to give me the information, but I haven't received yet. Also, you know, it'd be good to know how far away from the goal. I know, I think some people, like I have donated some, and I know some people did. So just so we have a progress. We don't have to be always saying the group or anything, but it just would be nice to know how far he is and what he still needs, and if we still need to be campaigning for him, you know, so in that sense. And you know, so I think Pedro is a circumstance that they have water, they need the channel. But one of the things about different in Guatemala, right? So one of the things they do in the northeast of Brazil, because in northeast of Brazil, traditional area that gets a lot of drought. Like we had 15 years of drought, like zero rain for 15 years in the center of the northeast. So you can imagine the tragedy that was. So and you're still going through a really bad drought now. So, but
that's happening in Guatemala right now too.
yeah, so I mean, the US is drowning in water, and then other countries is dying with the drought. So as the word goes. So, but the thing is, what they did, there's a project they've been doing is they found, you know, the waterbeds, right, underground. So they're the project NGO, it's around getting funds to build how do you call wells? There we go, wells, right? Community wells, you know, so to bring the water from the underground to these areas more affected with drought. So then they always have a supply of water, you know, so they go around like in different areas doing that. So so they've already been doing it for years there. It's not a cheap thing. It's absolutely not cheap, but it does help a whole community once they build a well like that. You know, with obviously the pump, it has motor to bring the water up and so on, right? So
I'm curious. I have a question because and this may be something that I don't know much about, but I heard, and maybe Mart, you can expand on it. Isn't there technology now that creates
Sorry, our phone died.
Okay, don't worries. Mart, isn't there a technology now that isn't there a technology now that that expands on making rain? So like it can create storms in the clouds. I thought there's this like technology that is being used right now in the sky that can actually cultivate storm or rain.
I don't know. I hear, but only what I hear in the online. So March can say that, but definitely they're not using that in the Northeast. I can tell you.
Well, it hasn't been something that has come close to my information space. But
Mhm.
knowing a bit of what goes behind that, what makes a cloud go into a storm, this just has to do with chemical compositions and pressure differences.
Mhm.
I can see that we would be able to do it, but I don't know how far we are in such a thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that there's some specificities in terms of being able. It'd be cool to figure out how we can bring some of those technologies to life over the Guatemala and Brazilian spaces. But these are high value technologies that I know are being used. Anywho, I believe that we need to figure out some solutions. So may I suggest that we reach out to Jason, see what's possible, and then from that place, we set up another meeting, see what we need to do, how we need to integrate, what value we need to add. Because if I tagged everybody that's involved, so if we create going that thread in the community, then we can keep the conversation going, maybe book a call outside of the Lighthouse, so on a private call, where we can go into, and if it starts to become a project, then we can then build on that as a team even more. But the reason that I wait to make sure that we actually is once it becomes a project, then I will put my full attention on it. Because if I'm the only one doing it, I don't technically, we need a team to do things. So that's why our energy is moving fast on Alberta. That's why, because we have a team, we have a lot of us involved. So you guys see, I think it would be good, Gina, in Tennessee, for you to really maybe even connect and talk deeper, and see what your needs are. But I'm happy to facilitate all of this as long as you guys can get aligned with Jason, because Jason has the structure.
Yeah, Jason.
Okay?
Yeah, and Eric,
Sounds great.
talk about Jason that we, because you suggested call, so for the other group for the energy thing. So I just want to know if you're gonna have, 'cause this week I'll be in Amsterdam. So, and I think the week after you're gonna be in Amsterdam, right? Or is it this week?
Yeah, I'll be in Amsterdam with our other with also the partners. So these guys that live in Amsterdam, I'll be at the Bitcoin conference. These are my partners in the whole capital group. So these are one is my co-founder, and one is our operations partner. So these
when
are
you're
the guys. Sorry?
when you're going to Amsterdam?
I'll be there on the 7th. I land on the 7th.
Okay.
And I'm there for 5 days, and then I fly to Dubai for 2 weeks to speak with a lot of other things in terms of energy down there. And that's why I'm saying that if we get this going properly now, when I have those meetings in Dubai, we can create a lot of influence.
Yeah. So.
But I can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. This is why, like, if you are willing to help me lead this, because we're all leaders here, by the way. So yeah, Tennessee, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's all right. I was just saying because, like, if you wanted to have an initial call with the guys, because I think Jason or Foster was going to do some research, and I'm like on what we were talking before, and it's like I'm happy to also do my research if we're going to have a call on Thursday or Friday before you travel, and I'm already back here. So just give me time to prepare as well, because I don't want to be just going on a call and I feel it's important that we know more. I want to understand more about this law that's coming in and that's putting pressure on the energy consumption and things like that. So I just need to understand really, because that is like the GDPR for data management. I think this law for the energy around, especially the data centers, is really it, right? And that's why you have this unique opportunity, like this moment. I really feel like if you're able to align your model to that and then find a way, so you know, you can have this huge opportunity because there's all this electricity being wasted and energy being wasted at the moment. So
Can I make a suggestion on the data centers?
yeah.
Can I make a suggestion that like maybe initiate a conversation where Foster and Hugo are involved, because Foster is the partner guy from here in the oil and gas sector. So he really gets it. Will understand what.
About the call, but they didn't answer you. So that's what I'm saying. If you just chase them in and see if they want to have the
Which
call
one?
Thursday or Friday,
Which
like on the data center group that you mentioned, you put it there. Should we have a call? And then I think Foster maybe said he was gonna do some research as well. And I sent them the links for some reports and the forum as well. So the sections of the forum.
So yeah, he asked what are the areas we want to focus on the research for the technologies.
Yeah, so I think that we need first, like, I want to understand that this law is pushing in, right, the down, because like the energy consumption is really not efficient, and as I said, there's a lot of wasted energy that's being generated and is not being given back. It's not being used at all. Like, so then it's, you know, around the sustainability bit as well, like, you know, but I feel like there is this a gap there, you know, that needs to be bridged because they need to find a solution because there's a real problem and our government is getting involved. And then I wanted to talk to you just because obviously in your model, it's obviously with Bitcoin. But for example, the European Central Bank right now has a project. They plan to bring in a few years' time their own electronic currency as well as the European Central Bank. So then you have to see, like, how could you potentially have a way that a model that you build can have options, you know, eventually in the future as well, and how they invest or how they get paid or whatever it is, the money monetize.
So the model of the European Bank and centraling anything, it won't work. I'll tell you that right now. Whatever they're trying to do to centralize another currency or a digital token, it won't work because Bitcoin will push against it, and people like myself and my partners won't let it happen because of the centralization of it. So it just creates the same level of incongruencies that's been created for the past thousands of years, and it takes away the power of the people, and it creates more limitation, which is why it's important to create from a place where there is a lot of energy consumption or, you know, inefficiencies, to capture the additional power or energy and use it to mine Bitcoin. But I don't understand enough about the data centers, which is why I would really need your awareness to really bridge that, because the data centers could then be captured by what Foster's an energy guy, so he really understands energy. And if you understand the data centers and we can combine that, then we can bring in Hugo, who understands Bitcoin, and see how that all works together. But like my wisdom is by listening to all of you and knowing how to put a proper structure into it so that we're winning and benefiting the community and the society. My wisdom is not needing to know the details of everything, because I'm connected to you, to Foster, to all my other partners through principles. This is what guides us, and this is why I'm capable of really leading everyone in a really sustainable and regenerative way, because what I'm doing is I'm bridging and knowing that I don't know the subject matter specifically, but what I do know is I understand energy at the source, like depth level of consciousness. So this is why people are supporting what we're doing here in Alberta. And so which is also what connects us to Dubai and all these other places around the world. But what it would be important, I think, for you, would be to become or be or enjoy or research and become the subject matter experts and seeing how we can integrate data centers with energy, and then getting curious of seeing what Hugo sees as how we could bridge Bitcoin to that, because then we have the team. And then as a result, we are creating the conscious, what I call the conscious or prosperous economic ecosystem.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, because even in, like I was saying, Minova, they're an energy company. Yeah, they're one of the biggest in Germany. And they are building their own data centers as well, right?
Yeah.
For, as but the tenants are, big companies. So then you can see that they're already connecting and tapping into that and merging the energy with the data centers.
Yeah. So let's if I can encourage you to say, hey guys, let's make a meeting. What time are you guys available? And let's just make it happen. You start that conversation and I will get it organized.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
We do that. We do that, and just give me time, because I want to also to speak with my friend who's a director of commissioning for data centers, and he's I want to understand from his perspective, because he directs the building and putting together basically the generators, the chillers, everything. He's the director of that. So he was on the project that I was in, but he's also now in AWS. So and I want to understand from him, like their perspective and so on, and their challenge. And then technically wise, how can we tap into that as well? So,
Cool.
And then we can see if, whoever we can connect, Siemens, Schneider, and those guys who are the big players.
I love it. Look at your physiology. You're in like total excitement. It's amazing.
I'm standing. Look at that.
I know that.
My top, folks.
Good. So cool. So I think everybody, is that clear for everyone what we're doing next?
Yeah, let's
Tina?
connect with Jason. Yeah,
let's
cool.
connect with Jason.
Amazing. Awesome. I love you all. I'm excited, grateful. Let's make magic happen in this world. Teamwork makes the dream work. Let's build this lighthouse fully.
Yes.
Yes.
Ciao.
And plan the trip.
Take care now.
Take care.
Bye.